And if I told you once, I ain't gonna tell you twice. Salute all my real ones. Yeah. Listen, champ, we got how Tom Cruise pulled off 8 amazing stunts. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, or 9, or 10. 8 amazing stunts. Movie Insider. We gonna get straight to the video. Like button, subscribe, notification bell, press those. Let's go.
In this scene from Mission Impossible Fallout, Ethan Hunt jumps 25,000 feet out of a plane before.
I don't want to see
But that's actually Tom Cruise, and that background behind him is not a green screen. The actor is famous for almost always doing his own stunts, no matter how dangerous. From climbing the world's tallest building to hanging off the side of a plane to pulling off perhaps one of the most dangerous helicopter chases ever captured on film. Cruise is always finding new ways to top himself, and he's not stopping anytime soon. At more than 2,700 feet, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai is the world's tallest building, so it was only a matter of time before Cruise decided to climb it. For this stunt, the actor had to climb 1,700 feet in the air, so he had to wear a special harness attached to strategic points in the building. To do this, the crew needed to break 26 different windows, with permission, of course. This harness was so tight, Cruise said it cut off his circulation. The 65mm IMAX cameras and additional helicopters shooting the scene only had a limited amount of time to record, so they had to move fast. But Cruise wasn't just climbing the building. He also had to fall 4 stories and run down the surface of the building in a move known as an Australian rappel. All of this required a lot of preparation. Cruise practiced by climbing up a makeshift glass wall heated with artificial lights to replicate the hot temperature of the windows on the Burj Khalifa. Stunt coordinator Greg Smers estimated that Cruise and the crew put in at least 200 hours of rehearsal time. This isn't Cruise's first experience climbing, however. In 2000's Mission Impossible 2, he climbed a 2,000-foot cliff in Utah, attached to nothing but a thin safety rope, and had to jump 15 feet from one cliff to another. The stunts in Edge of Tomorrow were tough, but it was actually the costume that made it even more so. Throughout the film, Cruise's character wears metal exoskeleton armor, something that typically might be added on through CGI. But Cruise wore a real suit, sometimes for up to 6 hours a day straight. One version weighed 85 pounds, and another version weighed around 130 pounds, thanks to a sniper rifle and missile launcher on the back. Here's what Cruise normally looks like running in a scene. Compare that to this shot of him and his co-star Emily Blunt running while both wore the suits. In another stunt for the film, the actor was attached to a wire and thrown across the room.
I won't lie, like officially, if you think about it, Tom Cruise has officially become the best action star of all time. Like, if you just take in the amount of effort that he puts into his movies and how good they are, like, I know you have Arnold, you have Sylvester Stallone, now you have Vin Diesel and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but Tom's been doing it for longer than all of them, right? Like Arnold did it, he rocked for the 80s and 90s. Sylvester did it for the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I know he had the Expendables in the 2000s, but yo, if you think about it, the first Top Gun was in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Yeah, he might be the best action star of all time.
While wearing it. To take some of the weight off and help them run more easily, Cruise and Blunt were often attached to cables. It took Cruise 30 minutes to get into the suit and 30 to get out. The team eventually got that down to around 30 seconds. While Cruise had plenty of experience flying planes in Top Gun, in Rogue Nation, he decided to go into the air in a rather unconventional and more terrifying way. For the film's opening scene, he had to cling onto the side of an Airbus A400M that took him up 1,000 feet at a speed of 100 knots for 6 to 8 minutes. The plane took off, did a complete circuit, and landed. all with Tom Cruise secured to the side with this wire that would later be erased in post-production. Because the plane went so high into the air, Cruise had to wear special contacts to protect his eyes from flying debris and strong gusts of wind. Plus, the crew had to make sure takeoff conditions were absolutely clear. If they ran into even a single bird or some rocks on the runway, it could severely injure the actor. The stunt had to be performed over and over again until the actor, director, and crew felt they got it right. For Cruise, he didn't feel confident in the take until he had gone up 8 times.
Man, he just wanted to do it 7 more times. He could have probably won with the first take, but that's just how much of a G he is.
The 5th mission entry contained not 1, but 2 death-defying stunts.
Yeah, that one is crazy though. Underwater one, bruh.
This one involving military-style preparation. In the film, Ethan Hunt needs to open an underwater vault. The vault itself was created using CGI, but Cruise still needed to work underwater for the sequence, which clocks in at just about 6 minutes long. He started by jumping off a 120-foot ledge into a tank filled 20 feet high with water. Then, Cruise needed to film takes while holding his breath for 4 to 6 minutes. According to Cruise, most underwater sequences might have an actor hold their breath for up to 10 seconds, so this was definitely a challenge. He trained with freediving expert Kirk Crack on a breath hold special operations program designed for military personnel. Part of his training involved breathing exercises that would lower his standard heart rate, essentially training his body to use less oxygen. And he wouldn't just be sitting in the water during the shoot, he would be swimming around. Why so long? Well, they had just 10 days to film the sequence. So director Christopher McQuarrie shot in a series of continuous takes, meaning the actor couldn't easily pop up for air.
Savage.
Well, Cruise hasn't gone to space. Yet.
Right.
He has performed a zero-gravity stunt. In The Mummy, he had to hold his breath underwater yet again, dodge explosions, and even fight Russell Crowe. The biggest standout stunt was this sequence in which a cargo plane plummets to the ground. Cruise was offered the chance to shoot it on a soundstage, but he declined and opted for the real thing. To imitate the experience of the crash where the characters float up into the air, they shot on a plane that NASA typically uses to train astronauts. They decked out the inside of the plane with padding to make it look like a real cargo plane. The plane couldn't go into zero-gravity mode until it was at about 25,000 feet. Once at that position, it would free fall for 22 seconds.
22.
During that time, Cruise endured 4 high-altitude flights. The sequence was eventually wrapped after a whopping 64 takes. And while Cruise's stunts usually require a lot of rehearsal, the actor actually said that that was quite tough here, as floating in the air makes things unpredictable. Cruise has flown a plane and hung onto the side of one, but for Fallout, he also learned to fly a helicopter as part of an aerial chase sequence. The 2018...
So this dude is like Neo in the Matrix, where he's like, I'm gonna learn jujitsu. And then he's just like, all right, cool. When Trinity calls Tank, and she's like, load me up a chopper program. He's just like, literally just absorbing information on how to use different vehicles.
The film contains an array of the actor's most daring stunts, like this motorcycle chase, in which the actor rode through the streets of Paris, sometimes at 100 miles per hour. For the helicopter chase, Ethan Hunt flies through dangerous mountain terrain to stop a nuclear bomb. Before shooting, Cruise worked 16 hours a day to hit the required 2,000 hours of helicopter training. There would be up to 13 helicopters close to each other in the sky at once, so Cruise and the stunt team carefully planned out every little move in advance using these toy helicopters. And the actor needed all the preparation he could get, as he would be acting, piloting, and operating the cameras mounted to the front of his chopper, all at the same time. All that planning was crucial, particularly for this 360-degree corkscrew dive, a move that's challenging even for professional pilots. According to Matt Evans, an instructor at the school where Cruise trained, the stunt involves starting with a descent, rolling into a turn, and then holding the turn as you go down. While that's happening, the actor can never take his hands off the controls. In Mission Impossible 2, Cruise's character jumps out of a helicopter. But that scene was shot using a green screen. In Fallout, Cruise decided to actually jump out of a plane and became the first actor to do a halo jump on camera. Halo stands for High Altitude, Low Opening. He jumped from a height of over 25,000 feet, but didn't open his parachute until he was below 2,000 feet.
Right.
This military move allows a soldier to jump into battle undetected. The actor practiced in a giant wind tunnel constructed on the set, and then, according to stunt coordinator Wade Eastwood, jumped out of a plane around 100 times.
Such an adrenaline jump.
And a trained stunt camera operator also had to jump out of the plane with Cruise to get the shot. To make sure every facial expression was still visible on camera, the crew developed a special helmet for Cruise with a light in it, allowing him to breathe properly while falling. In the long-awaited sequel to Tom Cruise's 1986 breakout film, Cruise is back in the cockpit of a fighter plane. The film was shot on real military aircraft carriers, and Cruise flew in real planes. A new camera system allowed the crew to put 6 IMAX quality cameras inside the cockpit. In the original Top Gun, one of the F-14s had 3 cameras total mounted onto it. But it wasn't just Cruise going solo. The rest of the cast trained alongside him. Cruise and the rest of the cast needed to actually fly for an even better viewing experience. Despite the potential risks, there are aspects of flying one simply couldn't see if they used green screen, like these distortions in the face. What's your favorite Tom Cruise stunt?
All of them, bro. All of them, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He works hard for his money, but he works hard for our respect, you know. Like, and that's why I know that the whole Scientology stuff and, you know, jumping on the couch and him, all that other stuff outside of the movies, but when it comes to the amount of work and effort that he puts into the movies, he always has my respect, and it's because he's willing to go above and beyond that a lot of actors won't. And that's to be commended. And I'm a pay every time a Tom Cruise movie comes out, I'm paying top dollar to go see it, man. That's just a fact, because I know what I'm gonna get. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all thought of the video. What's your favorite stunt or just piece of action from any Tom Cruise movie? Let me know down in the comment section. I think for me, it's the underwater one, because it's so crazy. Like, he literally looked like he's passing out. But we gonna leave it there. My name is Rain. Catch you on the flip side. RCP salute. Wait for it.